What's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with some more NHL 16 and my Boston Bruins GM mode. Now, it's been a while, over a week now at this point actually, since my last upload. Simply put, being sick and trying to record doesn't exactly result in a very audio-friendly experience. But I won't bore you with details, I'd rather bore you with the episode itself. Just kidding, I hope. But anyway, I'm glad to be back, and hey, I hit an extremely small milestone of 500 subs in the past few days, which is pretty damn cool, and about 499 more than I thought I'd ever have, with of course that one being myself, because I have no shame. Now in this episode, we'll be wrapping up Season 8. We finished the previous episode in first place in the Atlantic Division somehow, and rather than overspending on guys like Kopitar and Kessel as we approach the trade deadline, we're taking a little bit different of an approach. And as you've seen in the first few moments of this episode in the background, I've been offering free agents who still have potential, been offering them some contracts. If you've watched the series, then you know how I like to manage the AHL in terms of getting our prospects their proper playing time. And yes, these signings will affect that at least a little bit. Some players will be affected, but the big names like Vic Boulderis, who we just drafted, will continue to get their proper playing time. And simply put, if one of these signings ends up being a roster player like Haas, for example, I'll be happy. If they grow and we can trade them away since they now have a little bit of value, that's good too. To start off the sim in this episode, we sim the first two games after the All-Star break, games against Calgary and the Edmonton Oilers, and as you will see right about now, it goes relatively well. At least if you look at it realistically, with the real-life Bruins, splitting the first two games of a Western road trip isn't always a bad thing. For the Vancouver game, we end up giving Ruan Badenhorst, one of our free agent signings, we end up giving him his first start. Serge Lacerte didn't have the greatest stats in the world, so we give Badenhorst his first start. We just hope, that he can go from free agent guy to a winning goalie. He cannot. It is a shootout loss to the Vancouver Canucks. With Marcus Olsson back in the net, we sim the next two games against the Florida Panthers and the St. Louis Blues. And as you'll see now, this two-game sim goes a little bit better. 4-2 win over Florida and a 3-1 win over the St. Louis Blues. Ruan Badenhorst gets another chance. He gets the start against the Dallas Stars. We'll give Olsson the game against the Eastern Conference New Jersey Devils. And again, it's another overtime loss for Badenhorst. Every point matters, but it's disappointing to see him go 0-2 since we signed him. With Marcus Olsson back in goal, we sim the next four games against the Devils, Canadiens, the Rangers, and the Columbus Blue Jackets. And as you will see, it's a little bit of a mixed bag again. Wins against New Jersey, a 5-0 shutout. Another shutout for Marcus Olsson, two consecutive, as he shuts out the Canadiens 2-0, and then back-to-back losses, one against the Rangers, and then another shootout loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets. But again, every point matters. Now, before giving Badenhorst the start, we take a look at the goalie stats. You can see what Marcus Olsson has done this season thus far. 50 games played, 33 wins, and an impressive .928 save percentage with 7 shutouts. He's making great progress this season. Glad we decided to go with him due to his potential growing to elite. Ruan Badenhorst, however, not the greatest start for him either. An .864 save percentage. He's faced a lot of rubber in 2 games, but that is a pretty brutal save percentage. Again, he doesn't have the best potential, but we were hoping for a little bit better than what we got with him. He gets the start against the Rangers, and again, somehow, 3 straight overtime losses for Badenhorst. It's a shootout loss to the Rangers. Now, this might come as a bit of a surprise, but as I mentioned in the last episode, he has been just a talisman for this club. He's got us out of a lot of trouble in the past. Anton Forsberg. I didn't want to give up on Badenhorst this early, but 3 straight losses, a terrible save percentage. We send him and Janssen, a goalie with very low potential that we just drafted, along with a 4th and a 6th to Pittsburgh, and we reacquire Anton Forsberg. Aside from the years when we had Subban and Rask, I have not had a reliable backup goalie other than Anton Forsberg, and we bring him back again. Now, Forsberg wouldn't immediately make his debut as we go with Marcus Olsson for the next 6-game stretch. Home game against Montreal and Nashville, games against Carolina, Vancouver, Detroit, and the Ottawa Senators before the trade deadline. Let's see how that goes. Now, it's not ideal, it's not perfect, but this sim period, I would say, has gone very well for us. We get the win against Montreal, another win against Nashville, an overtime win against Carolina, a shootout loss to Vancouver, but we pick up a point, clean loss to Detroit, and then a shootout win over Malcolm Subban and the Ottawa Senators. We are going to overtime a lot, but we get 4 wins out of 6. I will take that every single time. That boosts our record to 39, 15, and 9 on the season. As planned, we go past the trade deadline without making a move. We play the game against the Canadiens, and Marcus Olsson does it again, this time a 6-0 shutout against the Habs. And what better time for Anton Forsberg to debut than against his former team that we just acquired him from. He plays the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it's a 5-3 victory. Welcome back, Anton. This sim period also goes pretty damn well for us. 4-1 win and a 5-2 win over Tampa Bay and the New York Islanders for Marcus Olsson. We put Anton Forsberg back in again to play the Pittsburgh Penguins. And what do you know? It's a 4-0 shutout for Anton Forsberg on his former team. 2 wins for Forsberg now since we reacquired him. And before we continue, we put Marcus Olsson back in for this next stretch of games. However, we do take a quick look at Mikhail Soderstrom as well. And say what you want about some of my trades in this one. I hope I don't jinx this. He looks like an absolute steal right now. We had to give up quite a bit to get him, but he's an 82 overall already at just 20 years old. We sim to the end of the month, and you'll see how it goes right now. Not too bad. A little bit questionable on my part. 2 consecutive losses for Olsson, losing to Toronto and Columbus. We actually play Olsson in 2 back-to-backs. I just overlooked it, but he does get the win against Nashville, and from there, pretty damn good, only dropping 1 point to the Colorado Avalanche to finish up the month of March. And look at that record as we head into April. 49 wins, 17 losses, 10 overtime losses. Pretty damn good. As for the first time, we are in a battle for the President's Trophy. You get a look at the standings here, and with just 6 games to go, we're on 108 points. 8 points clear of the Maple Leafs. It's our trophy to lose at this point. Even looking at the entire league, we have 2 games at hand on the Devils, who are 4 points back. Again, the division looks to be ours. The President's Trophy very well could be ours if our team can somehow keep this up. The first game of April, it's against the Chicago Blackhawks. Anton Forsberg is in, and we get a big 4-3 victory for our 50th win of the season. Despite the acquisition of Sidney Crosby, who the hell ever would have guessed that this team, of all teams that we've had in the series, would be 50 wins, a 50-win team. That's just insane. Absolutely mind-boggling. Next 3 games, Marcus Olsson, of course, back in the net. A game against the New Jersey Devils, the Washington Capitals, and the Carolina Hurricanes. It's a 3-1 loss to start against the Devils. We will take care of scouting afterwards. We have player morale to take care of as well, but it's a 5-2 win over Washington. And now this Carolina game, which actually, on second thought, let's give that to Anton Forsberg. It might be a little bit easier of a game with Philly so close. But as we take a look at the standings, 79 games in, 112 points. We look at the entire league. We are 4 points clear of the Devils. The President's Trophy, all but ours. We would have to lose our last 3 games to be caught. So, and just ridiculous to think that this team is going to be the first team that we've had to win the President's Trophy as far as I can remember. And again, is it the strongest team we've ever put together? I don't think so. We play the Hurricanes. Anton Forsberg gets a 3-2 win. Unbelievable. Undefeated since we reacquired him from Pittsburgh. So that immediately proves to have been the right choice. We'll put Marcus Olsson back in goal for these final 2 games. We're not resting our starters. I don't care if we won the President's Trophy. We are going to win it in dominant fashion. The final 2 games of the regular season against the Flyers, it's a 4-2 win that absolutely secures it. The season ends with a 4-0 loss to the Carolina Hurricanes, but there you see it, guys. Of all the teams that we could have ran into to start the next round, it's our old rival, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and we know it's not going to be easy. But guys, that'll do it for this episode as you get a look at the final standings, the playoff brackets. Again, I hate to reiterate so much, but simply unbelievable that we have won the President's Trophy for the first time. 53 wins on the season, which is just ridiculous, especially, again, Marcus Olsson is the technically lowest overall goalkeeper or goalie that we have had for this entire series. But a great accomplishment, and will I be absolutely devastated if we get eliminated in the first round? Yes. If we get swept in the first round, I'm selling my copy of NHL. Actually, I think it's digital. I'll be deleting my copy of NHL. This team has to be the team that can get us back to at least just get us back to the finals, as much as it would suck to lose in the finals. This team's proven that they're good. 53 wins isn't a fluke, but they're not too good to fail. They have to get it done in the playoffs, and we'll find out what happens in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Regular uploads are once again a thing, and I will see you all next time as we start the Season 8 playoffs.